constructive starts now.
I strongly affirm the resolution resolved. The United States should adopt carbon pricing. It is a crucial measure in the battle against the environmental and economic crisis that climate change presents. As the second largest emitter of carbon dioxide in the world, the U.S. needs to act swiftly to greatly reduce the carbon contributions. Carbon pricing gestures the single greatest financial incentive for industries to start curbing their emissions, which will in return bolster the development of green technologies and help stave off the devastating impacts of climate change. Value. The value for today's debate is the environmental justice. Environmental justice is defined by the EPA, the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all people, regardless of race, color, national origin, or income, with respect to the development, implementation, and enforcement of the environmental laws, regulations, and policies. We cannot ignore the fact that climate change impacts people differently. It hurts the most vulnerable this century and the next, and that is a huge burden that needs to be reprimanded for the well-being of our present and future lives. Climate change is a massive, and so is the threat, which is the best way to navigate through the TPS and make this happen. And we need the carbon pricing for the same we have right now. The carbon pricing for the state we have right now. The value for this round is minimizing harm. We assess policies by the minimization of harm concept, especially when it comes to minimizing environmental impacts and preserving human health. Decreasing carbon emissions will mitigate the effects of climate change, rising sea levels, catastrophic weather events, and health issues. Environmental justice is related directly to the ethical principle of utilitarianism, the greatest good for the greater number. Through carbon pricing, we prevent the devastating impacts we know climate change can inflict. And we are doing so in a way that is good for both environmental and socio-economical disadvantaged communities. Philosophers include Peter Singer have advocated that it is moral obligation to alleviate suffering, to assist vulnerable people dealing with global issues such as climate change, and carbon pricing is a mechanism for the greater good. Definitions: carbon pricing, the concept of charging emitter a fee, a tax, or tax based on the amount of carbon dioxide, CO2, they produce.